Good morning, children. Welcome to the third session of Chapter 1 Number System. In the previous session, we have discussed about irrational numbers, rational numbers, and real numbers. Every real number is either a rational number or an irrational number. In lower classes, you have already studied how to represent integers on the number line, how to represent rational numbers on the number line, and in this session you are going to learn how to represent irrational numbers and real numbers on the number line. Representation of irrational numbers on the number line. We have already studied in the previous session, a real number is either rational or irrational. So we can say that every real number is represented by a unique point on the number line. Also, every point on the number line represents a unique real number. Moving to exercise 1.2, question number 3. Show how root 5 can be represented on the number line. Whenever you are representing irrational numbers on the number line, the first step is you have to take the given irrational number as a sum of squares of any two numbers. That is, root 5 you have to represent by sum of squares of two numbers. That is, 2 square, that is 4, plus 1 square, that is 1. So 4 plus 1, that is root 5. Now, by using Pythagoras theorem, you are going to construct a triangle whose base is of 2 unit and height is of 1 unit. And then the hypotenuse will be of root 5 unit. So first step is, for the construction, you have to draw a line x, x dash and mark the points 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Instead of taking the 1 centimeter distance, you take 1 unit. You can take the 1 unit as 1 unit equal to 2 centimeter or 3 centimeter. Then the constructed figure will be of having enough size. So it is better you take 1 unit equal to 2 centimeter. That is the gap in between 0 and 1, that is of 2 centimeter, 1 to 2, that is of 2 centimeter, and so on. Now, on the base, you have to mark 2 units. For that, from 0, the first point you have to mark it as O, and at 2, you have to mark the point as B. Now, at B, you have to draw a perpendicular. That means this is 90 degree. Now, on the perpendicular, you have to mark a point C such that BC equal to 1 unit. Now, next step is you have to join OC. Now, you think about the Pythagoras theorem. Base is 2 unit, height is 1 unit, and the hypotenuse will be of root 5 unit. That means OC represent root 5. Now you have to represent it on the number line xx dash. For that, you have to take O as center and OC as radius. Draw an arc to intersect xx dash at E. Then E represent root 5 on the number line. We can move to the steps of construction, whether it is asked or not. If any construction is given, you have to write the step of construction. You can write it in your own words. Whatever things you are doing, step by step you have to write it. That is the first step. Draw line xx dash, mark O such that it represents 0. Mark a point B such that OB equal to 2 units. Draw a perpendicular at B and mark a point C on it such that BC equal to 1 unit. Join OC. Now in triangle OBC, it is a right angle triangle. Then by Pythagoras theorem, OC square equal to OB square plus BC square. That is OC square equal to 2 square plus 1 square, that is equal to 5. Therefore, OC equal to root 5. So, OC represents root 5 on the figure. With O as center and OC as radius, draw an arc to intersect the line XX dash at E. And the point E represents root 5 on the number line. Representing real numbers on the number lines. On the basis of the process of successive magnification, we can say that corresponding to each real number, there is a unique point on the number line. Conversely, corresponding to each point on the number line, there is a real number. Moving to exercise 1.4, question number 1, visualize 3.765 on the number line using successive magnification. Here, the given decimal number is 3.765. In that, the whole number part is 3. That means the given number lies in between the two whole numbers is 3 and 4. So the first step is you have to draw a number line and mark the numbers on it. The next part, since the number is lying in between 3 and 4, you have to magnify in between 3 and 4. And you have to draw the next number line. In that, you have to divide the line into 10 equal parts and mark the numbers as 3, 3.1, 3.2, etc. 3.9 up to 4. Now, the first decimal part, that is 3.7. That means the next part you have to magnify is in between 3.7 and 3.8. Now you have to again divide that part into 10 equal parts and number them 3.7, 3.71, 3.72, etc. 3.8. Now the next number is 3.76. That means you have to magnify in between 3.76 and 3.77. And that part you have to divide into 10 equal parts. So you have to number them 3.76, 3.761, 3.762, etc. 3.77. Now the required number is 3.765 that you have to mark on the number line. So every real number can be represented on the number line. Question number 2, visualize 4.26 on the number line up to 4 decimal places. That is, the given number can be written as 4.2626, etc. Now, here also the whole number part is 4. That means the given number lies in between 4 and 5. So the first step is you are drawing a number line and you have to mark them and you are magnifying in between 4 and 5. So the numbers are 4, 4.1, 4.2, etc. up to 5. Then the first decimal part is 4.2. That means you have to do the successive magnification in between 4.2 and 4.3. And that part again you have to divide into 10 equal parts. So you are getting it as 4.2, 4.21, 4.22, 4.23, etc. 4.29, 4.30. Now, since the second decimal is 4.26, that means you have to magnify in between 4.26 and 4.27. Again, that part you have to divide into 10 equal part and number them 4.26, 4.261, 4.262, etc. 4.269, 4.270. Then next 4.2626. That means you have to magnify in between 4.262 and 4.263. And again you have to number them 4.262, 4.2621, 4.2622, etc. 4.2629, 4.2630. And the given number 4.2626 lie in this number line. You have to highlight the required number. Exercise 1.5, question number 4, represent root 9.3 on the number line. For representing root 9.3, the first step is you have to draw a number line xx dash and mark the following points in such a way that the distance AB, that is equal to the given number, that is 9.3 units. And from B, you have to mark a point C such that BC equal to 1 unit. Now, you find the midpoint of AC and mark it as D. You can find the midpoint by using the scale or by drawing the perpendicular bisector. Wherever the bisector is intersecting, mark the point as D. Next, with D as center and AD as radius, draw a semicircle and the semicircle will intersect both A and C because D is the midpoint. Next step is from B you have to draw a perpendicular and it will intersect the semicircle since angle B, that is 90 degree, and the perpendicular intersect the semicircle, you mark the point as E. Now BE represent root 9.3. You have to represent root 9.3 on the number line. For that, with B as center and BE as radius, draw an arc. The arc should intersect XX dash at F. You mark the intersecting point as F. And the point F denote root 9.3. Now, you have represented root 9.3 on the number line. Now, you have to write the step of construction and it will make you more clear. The first step is draw a line x dash x. Mark B on the line such that AB equal to 9.3 unit. Mark C on x dash x such that BC equal to 1 unit. Let D be the midpoint of AC. Draw a semicircle with center D and radius AD. Draw a perpendicular at B to AC intersecting the semicircle in E. BE equal to root 9.3. Draw an arc with B as center, BE as radius to intersect XX dash at a point. Then the point F represent root 9.3. Moving to extra question. Question number 1. Show that 2 upon root 5 plus root 3 plus 1 upon root 2 plus root 3 minus 3 upon root 5 plus root 2 equal to 0. That is, you have to prove the LHS equal to the RHS that you are getting as 0. Whenever you are having an expression in which the denominator is an irrational number, you have to rationalize the denominator. For that, you take the LHS. LHS equal to 2 upon root 5 plus root 3. To rationalize this term, you have to multiply in the numerator and denominator by root 5 minus root 3. In the previous class, we have studied about this rationalizing the denominator. Whenever you are having the denominator of the form root a plus root b, you have to multiply by root a minus root b in the numerator and denominator, plus 1 upon root 2 plus root 3. To rationalize this term, you have to multiply in the numerator and denominator by root 2 minus root 3 upon root 2 minus root 3. Now the third term is minus 3 upon root 5 plus root 2. To rationalize this, you have to multiply in the numerator and denominator by root 5 minus root 2, root 5 minus root 2. Now you have to write the numerators as it is. So you will have 2 multiplied by root 5 minus root 3 upon the denominator is of the form a plus b, a minus b, that is equal to a square, that is root 5 square minus root 3 square, plus 1 multiplied by root 2 minus root 3. You can write it as root 2 minus root 3 upon, here also of the form a plus b, a minus b, that is a square root 2 square minus b square, that is root 3 square, minus 3 multiplied by root 5 minus root 2 upon, here also you can use the identity a plus b, a minus b, that is root 5 square minus root 2 square, here also root 2. Now that is equal to 2 multiplied by root 5 minus root 3 upon root 5 square is 5 minus root 3 square is 3 plus root 2 minus root 3 upon root 2 square is 2, root 3 square is 3 minus 3 multiplied by root 5 minus root 2 upon root 5 square is 5 minus 2 square, root 2 square is 2, that is equal to, you can write it as 2 multiplied by root 5 minus root 3 upon 2 plus root 2 minus root 3 upon minus 1 minus 3 root 5 minus root 2 upon 3. Cancelling the common factors in the numerator and denominator, 2 getting cancelled, 3 getting cancelled. The negative sign of the second term, you can take it to the numerator. So this you can write it as root 5 minus root 3. The negative sign, you have to take it to the top. So you are taking it as minus root 2 minus root 3 minus root 5 minus root 2. That is equal to root 5 minus root 3 minus of root 2. That is minus root 2 minus of minus plus root 3 minus root 5 minus of minus plus root 2. Plus root 5 minus root 5. So it is getting cancelled. Minus root 3 plus root 3 cancelled. Minus root 2 plus root 2. That is equal to 0. Therefore, LHS equal to RHS. So you have proved 2 upon root 5 plus root 3 plus 1 upon root 2 plus root 3 plus minus 3 upon root 5 plus root 2 equal to 0. Question number 2. Find the value of A and B if 2 plus 5 root 7 upon 2 minus 5 root 7 equal to A plus B root 7. Here you have to find the value of A and B and the LHS of the expression, that is 2 plus 5 root 7 upon 2 minus 5 root 7. The denominator of this expression is having a radical sign. So you have to rationalize the denominator. For that, 2 plus 5 root 7 upon 2 minus 5 root 7. For rationalizing the denominator, you have to multiply in the numerator and denominator by 2 plus 5 root 7. You have to multiply both numerator and denominator. That is equal to A plus B root 7. Now, in the LHS, the numerator is of the form A plus B multiplied by A plus B. That is 2 plus 5 root 7 whole square upon denominator is of the form A minus B, A plus B, that is A square minus B square. B square is 5 root 7 whole square equal to A plus B root 7. Now you expand the LHS, the numerator. A plus B whole square is A square, that is 2 square plus B 2AB, that is 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 5 root 7 plus B square, that is 5 root 7 whole square upon A square 2 square, that is 4 minus 5 root 7 square, that is 5 square is 25 multiplied by root 7 square is 7. So that is also equal to A plus B root 7. Now simplify the numerator, you are getting 4 plus 20 root 7 plus 5 square is 25, 25 multiplied by 7, that is 175 upon minus 171. 4 minus 175 equal to minus 171 equal to A plus B root 7. Now again 4 plus 175, that is 179 plus 20 root 7 upon minus 171 equal to A plus B root 7. Now the denominator is minus 171. You can split it and write it as 179 upon minus 171 plus 20 root 7 upon minus 171 equal to a plus b root 7. Whenever you are having negative sign in the denominator, you have to take it to the numerator. So you can write it as minus 179 upon 171 minus 20 root 7 upon 171 equal to a plus b root 7. Now you compare the terms in the LHS and RHS. Therefore, a equal to minus 179 upon 171 and b, that is along with root 7, that is minus 20 upon 171. So you are getting the values of a and b as a is minus 179 upon 171 and b as minus 20 upon 171. Question number 3. Represent root 17 on the number line. When you are representing any irrational numbers on the number line, you have to take the given irrational number, that is 17, as sum of squares of any two numbers. That is 17 can be written as 4 square plus 1 square. And you have to construct a right triangle in which its base is of 4 unit, height is of 1 unit, then the hypotenuse is of 17 unit by applying the Pythagoras theorem. For that, the first step is you have to draw a number line. You name it as x dash x. Then you have to take the base as 4 unit. So you are taking the 4 units and marking the points 0 as O and 4 as B. Now you have to draw a perpendicular from B. Perpendicular means that is the angle is 90 degree. Now on the perpendicular you have to mark a point A such that BA is 1 unit. Next step you have to join OA. Now in triangle OBA, OA square equal to OB square plus BA square. OB is 4, so 4 square plus BA is 1 square, that is equal to 16 plus 1, that is 17. Therefore, OA equal to root 17. So in the constructed figure, OA represents root 17. Now you have to represent root 17 on the number line. For that, with O as center and OA as radius, you draw an arc. The arc intersecting the number line at E, and the point E represents root 17. Now, if this is the question of 2 marks, you have to first show the splitting of the number and do the construction and mention the right triangle where you are applying the Pythagoras theorem. This much part is enough for 2 mark question. Suppose if it is asked for 3 mark, whether it is not mentioned to write the step of construction, you have to write the steps and do the construction for scoring the full 3 marks. Moving to homework, the questions that we have discussed in the class, that you have to write it in your notebook. all the construction must be done neatly with pencil in your notebook. And the step of construction, it is compulsory to write. And the extra questions that I have given here, you have to write it in the notebook and you can check the answers whether you are getting it or not. And I have given here to represent root 7 on the number line. Root 7, for constructing root 7, first you have to construct root 5. Then from root 5, you have to draw the perpendicular. Then construct root 6. From root 6, draw the perpendicular. Then you are getting root 7. So please try to do it by yourself. And this chapter is over. Whenever you get the free time, please do the revision. Go through the examples. If you are having any reference book, please try to practice it. Thank you.